The best movie so far of 2025 is sleek, stylish, brilliantly written, and now it is available for home viewing. Let's talk about Steven Soderbergh's Black Bag. Hey guys, Dan here. This is Dan Reviews It. Welcome to my spoiler-free review for the new Steven Soderbergh film, Black Bag. This is still in theaters a little bit as of this recording, but now you can get it for home viewing as well, wherever you rent or buy your at-home movies. But before we get into the specifics of the film and my thoughts on it, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are a Dan Reviews It subscriber already, thank you so much for that. Love it when you guys return and check out my stuff. But if you're not, please consider subscribing and click that notification bell so you get the alerts for all my new videos. And I do try to post every day, so there's always something going on here on the channel, be it movie or TV related. And yeah, of course, you could just like this video or comment below too. That stuff helps the channel out tremendously. All right, so Black Bag, look, I said it up top. This is my favorite movie so far of 2025. I think I've seen 27 movies or so. I haven't reviewed all of them yet, but as of now, this is my favorite of the year. So Steven Soderbergh, look, he certainly knows his way around movies like this, spy thrillers, crime capers. He's done the Ocean's movies. He did Logan Lucky, which is a very little talked about movie from a few years ago with Channing Tatum and Daniel Craig, and I think that Adam Driver was in it. But he also did one of my favorite sort of guilty pleasure movies, Magic Mike, which I think because of Soderbergh's direction, gave us a lot more than we expected maybe from the premise or from the trailer. And I think that's what he does best, sort of these straight ahead concepts and turns them on their ear a little bit and gives us something more enjoyable to look at, to think about, what have you. Now, he didn't write this. It was written by David Koepp, who I was looking up his filmography, and I don't know if he's collaborated with Soderbergh before. It doesn't look like it from his big pictures, but he's co-written or written a lot of really big movies, including the original Jurassic Park. He co-wrote with Michael Crichton, the author of the novel. He co-wrote the original Mission Impossible with a couple people. He co-wrote he wrote the 2002 Spider-Man. He's written a lot of movies sort of in that vein, sort of action adventure. And so it's interesting that he wrote this, because this is, even though it is considered a spy thriller, it is really a lot about the dialogue. There's a lot of talking moments in this movie, much more so than in your typical spy thriller, I would say. And by the way, speaking of the Jurassic Park series, he was absent from the last couple, but he wrote the new Jurassic Park Rebirth that's coming out this year, and I hope it's a good return to form, because the Jurassic World movies so far have been terrible. But anyway, back to Black Bag. So let's talk briefly about the plot here, and it will be very brief because I don't want to give anything away. This is something where, it is very, very layered, and I don't want to say too much. But it stars Cate Blanchett and Michael Fassbender as a married sort of spy couple. It also stars Marisa Abela, Tom Burke, Naomi Harris, Regé-Jean Page, and Pierce Brosnan. And essentially, Michael Fassbender plays a British intelligence officer who is tasked with investigating a list of possible traitors that have, taken this top secret software program code named Severus, which doesn't really matter. I mean, they talk a little bit about, they talk a lot about Severus and, it's going to destroy this and that. It's that part is really kind of irrelevant. We see so many of these movies, especially spy movies, a lot of the recent Mission Impossibles and the Bourne movies and, are all about, and honestly, a lot of the recent Marvel movies too are all about, you have to find this, X thing. And if you find it, it's going to save the world and this and that. And in movies not like this, not Black Bag, but in the movies I mentioned, it's such a question mark of a plot point because it doesn't matter. It's like, find this thing, and there you go. But here, because we're focused on not necessarily finding the thing, we're focused, I mean, a little bit on that, but more on finding the actual traitor. That's our job as the audience, is to look for the traitor and not so much figure out, okay, how are they going to get their hands back on the Severus, and will they, and whatever. But anyway, in this mission that he's tasked with, one of the suspects and possible traitors could be his wife, played by the wonderful Cate Blanchett. So look, I said up at the top, this is a sleek, stylish movie with brilliant writing, and that is why it is so far my favorite this year. I mean, Soderbergh, look, he's had his hand in so many different genres. Like obviously Magic Mike is so far removed, from the Ocean's movies, for the most part. But like when you think about the thrillers and the caper movies that Soderbergh has done, like Logan Lucky, Ocean's movies, it has similar threads in style, but it is so completely different. And I think part of that is because it's a little bit more talky. And yes, when we get a little more invested in the Severus part, where they actually have to try and figure out how to get it back, yes, we have a little bit of caper stuff there, and the actual like thrilling element steps up a bit. But the best part for me of this by far was the mystery element of who is the traitor. Let's talk it out. Let's see how Fassbender can sort of figure out if his wife is involved, and figure out, what. So Pierce Brosnan is sort of, his superior, so he's got to kind of figure out with him, if he's involved at all, and in what sense, and, he ends up spying on his wife, and it's all very, very interesting, layered, well-written, all of the things that I keep saying about. And it's so well acted, too. Fassbender, was a big up-and-comer for a while, and then, we just sort of didn't see him. I guess he's maybe doing more indie movies now, but I haven't seen him, I don't think, in quite a while. Cate Blanchett, she never stops working. She does 2 or 3 movies a year, but the two of them play incredibly well off each other. Regé-Jean Page from Bridgerton, he's great here. And it's all just so sleek and stylized, as Soderbergh does so well. And it's a tight hour-and-a-half movie. I think it's like 93 minutes or something. It's right there. It gets you in. It gets you invested. It gets intense. And you leave thinking, wow, that was a great film, as I did. I leave Black Bag with an A. Like I mentioned a couple of times, it is so far my favorite movie of 2025. And you can check it out now for home viewing. Thank you so much for watching Dan Reviews It. I'll see you next time.